Welcome to Welding Industry Today. My name is Chelsea and I am going to be walking you through step-by-step instructions on how to apply for the AWS scholarships. Now, the American Welding Society is poised to give away approximately $1.6 million in scholarships this year. And these scholarships can be used for anything from single individual welding classes all the way up to pursuing higher education at a university. So I'm going to show you how to get through the application process as well as give you some information about a couple little nuances and other things that you can find on the website to assist you. Before we jump into the portal, I want to start by showing you a couple things on the website that will assist you throughout the application process as well as in the future. So the American Welding Society, as a national entity in the United States, is broken up into 22 districts. Each of those districts are responsible for a portion of the United States. Beneath each of those districts is a number of sections. It varies from district to district. For example, District 17 has 7 sections in it. Now, the reason that this is important to you is there are some scholarships that are available that you cannot apply for directly through the portal. Some local sections and even some districts may have scholarships that you can apply for, but it has to be done through a separate application. To find out if the section closest to you or the school that you're going to be attending has any additional scholarships available, there's a couple different ways you can find out. So first, start by going to aws.org and click on Membership. Then you can click over here on Sections and finally click on Find a Section. It's going to give you a map of the United States and it's pretty colorful. So find the area where you live. So for example, I live in North Texas, so I'm going to highlight the North Texas and it says District 17, North Texas, and it makes all of District 17 pop out at you. So you can see that we've got Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Ozarks, etc. So click on the section that you think is your area, and it's going to take you to the district page. And you'll see our district director is Jay Jones, and it shows you all of the sections in that district. So you click on the section that you want, and it provides you with some information. Now, the best place to start to find out if your local section has additional scholarships is to go to their website and see if they've got anything on there. Typically, if they do, there'll be a scholarships tab or something in their website. If you don't see anything there, you can always check on their Facebook or send them an email. If all else fails and you can't communicate through them electronically, the next best thing you can do is call AWS headquarters in Miami. You can find their information here at the top of the page, click on Contact, and it will take you to the contact page for the American Welding Society. Their phone number is right here, and you can either search by name, but I'm going to give you the extensions that you need. So if you scroll down a little bit, you will notice that there is one called Membership, and in there you've got these two extensions, Section and Student Chapters. Now the Section extension at 260 will take you to Daryl Gashler. He basically works as the liaison between the sections and the headquarters in Miami. He will be able to answer your questions about what section you may belong to or what section the school you're going to would belong to, as well as who to contact at that section for more information. So reach out to Daryl if you have any questions about that. Now, let's say you're already in school and the school that you're attending has a student chapter and you want to know more about it. You can either talk to the school or you can call the student chapter extension 258 and speak with Evelyn Andino. She'll be able to let you know whether or not the school you're interested in going to is a student chapter. And if you're interested in starting a student chapter, either at your school or someone you know wants to start a student chapter at a school, Evelyn can give you all of the information that you need to walk through that process. I always encourage schools, both at the high school and college and university levels, to become student chapters. It's beneficial to the students as well as the program itself. There's a lot of perks that I'm not going to go into. I will have another video specifically on student chapters later, but student chapters are a beneficial way to improve the program and the opportunities available to the welders going through it. So if you have any questions about either of those, Daryl and Evelyn will be more than happy to help you. Now, the last extension I want to show you is the Foundation extension. This is who you're going to call if you have any problems throughout the application process or questions about the scholarships. The AWS Foundation is where all of the scholarships are housed, and they can answer all of your questions for you. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the scholarship page. So we're going to click on Education and click on Scholarships. Now, you're going to see the link to the portal. We're not going to click that just yet. Scroll down a little bit further and notice the important dates. I cannot tell you how many times I have had people tell me I missed the deadline. So now you don't have an excuse because it's everywhere. March 1st is the deadline for most scholarships, all of which are on the portal do have a March 1st deadline. However, some of the extra scholarships or things that sections might have or other things, they may have different deadlines. But the portal has a March 1st deadline at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That portal will shut down on March 1st. So make sure you get everything in there so that you can get your application in and considered for scholarship money. Scroll down just a little bit further, and I want to show you one more scholarship in particular, the Welder Training Scholarship. This scholarship is not available through the portal. You do have to apply for it separately, and you can find the application by clicking right here where it says view additional information. Now, the Welder Training Scholarship is an incredible program that they just started a few years ago. And what this is each district, again, we have 22 in the United States, each district gets 25 $1,000 scholarships to award to the applicants as they see fit. The district director is the one that ultimately makes that decision. Now, this money can only be used for programs of 2 years of length or less. So basically, community colleges, trade schools, and other facilities that offer welder training. To my understanding, you can also use these funds for the American Welding online courses that AWS has at awo.org. On there, there are various courses, both free and paid, that you can take that can assist you in improving your skills as a welder, engineer, metallurgist, or anything else involving the welding industry. To my understanding, this money can be used for that. Additionally, I'm under the understanding that you can use this money for seminars that AWS teaches, such as the CWI seminar. It cannot, however, be used to pay for the CWI exam. It's only for the education, not the certification. So make sure you keep that in mind. And there is no deadline for these scholarships, but keep in mind, many district directors do it on a first come, first served basis. So the first 25 people to apply that are approved and accepted are going to get the money. So if you're too late, you'll have to wait until next year. This scholarship is open from January 1st to December 31st every year. And again, it's up to the district director on who gets that money. So apply for that. It's a nice $1,000 that you can use for school and other welder training. So that's something I wanted to show you. Last two things down here, you've got educator scholarships and international scholarships. I'm not going to talk too much about those, but if you are an educator or wish to become one, there are scholarships available for you. And international students, we didn't forget about you. There are scholarships for you. Click on the view additional information links to learn a little bit more about those. Now it's time to go ahead and jump into the portal. So we're going to go right here and click on this link at scholarships.aws.org. And it's going to take you straight into the portal. Now, if you have ever applied for scholarships before on the portal, all you have to do is put in the login information that you used last time, and you can see that right here. If you forgot the password, they've got that forgotten password link, and they'll help you get set up. Now, if you've never applied before, just click on register, and it will take you to the registration page. There's a bit of information that you do need to fill in. And make sure that you add scholarships at aws.org to your safe list in your email box, because it does get sent to spam from time to time, and you're going to need the email that you're going to get from them to verify your account before you can begin the application process. So you're going to go through and fill everything out, making sure to mark your gender and your citizenship. Now, this is important because there are some scholarships that are specifically for women and scholarships that may be specific to where you live. So make sure that you're marking that information. Your student ID number needs to be the student ID number at the school you're going to be attending. Now, I want to touch a little bit about being a student member because, as you can see here, some section and other scholarship committees do give preference to the AWS membership, which means if you're already a member before you apply, you could get a little brownie points added to your application, and it could make the difference between acceptance and non-acceptance. So if you're not already a member, it is $15 a year to apply to be a student member. If you are a student, you can be a student member. So if you're not a member, please go become a member for you to just get those extra points, okay? So you just click on yes and type in your member number if you are a member. So fill out the rest of the information. Please make sure it's an email that you actually can access. I've had people in the past who are like, man, I don't have access to that email. Well, why'd you use it? Make sure it's a password, an email that you use, and a password that you can easily remember. put in your current address. This does play a role in what scholarships you are eligible for because some of them are based off of location. So make sure you fill that in accurately. If you have a different address from your mailing address, fill that out and then, or just click same as above. And then you have to do the little I'm not a robot CAPTCHA. Once you finish that, click save. Once you click save, it is going to have the system send you an email to verify the information that you provided. You will need to go open that email and click the verification link in order to move on in the process.
Now, once you are logged in, you're going to see that you've got the welcome screen, there's a message center, your FAQs, and then you can edit your profile. When you go in to edit your profile, that's basically all the information that you entered when you created your account, okay? So there are 3 steps that you have to complete. So the first step is your academic profile. You're just going to click on Get Started, and then you need to fill all of this information in. Now, a couple points that I want to make. If you are going to be going to a 2-year or less educational facility for the first time ever, and you are going to get a certificate or a degree in welding, when you select your major, you want to select all the way at the bottom of that list, welding or related. If you are continuing your education at a community college, pursuing a degree in welding, and you're going into another semester and you've already begun the program, you're going to also select welding or related. Even if, when you complete that program, you plan on going on to a university to pursue engineering, if you are going to be doing a welding program between August and May of the basically the next school year is when that money is going to be awarded to you, they want to know what are you doing during that time frame. So you're going to select welding related. If you are going to be going to a university to pursue metallurgy, welding, engineering, whatever, then you can select the appropriate description for that. But it needs to be what you are going to be doing in the upcoming school year from August to May. So keep that in mind, all right? So really quickly, I'm going to fill this information out so that we can get to the next screen. Hit continue and move on to the next screen. Okay, so once we've completed that screen, now we're going into the personal statement. It's a maximum of 500 words, not a minimum. I cannot stress this enough. It is a maximum of 500 words, and it is so important that you take your time on this, okay? I know a lot of people don't like to write. Maybe they're not good at it. They have a hard time with grammar or whatever. That's fine. Write it in a Microsoft Word document first so that you can do spell check and everything. And then ask someone to check it. They'll be able to tell you, does it make sense? Does it flow well? Did you make mistakes? What do you put in the essay? They give you a nice little list of ideas here, okay? Just use that. That's your guideline, okay? We want to know about you, okay? Why did you get into welding? Did someone influence you to get into welding? Do you have a reason behind it? And if you don't know what you want to do after school, that is actually okay. Tell us that. Then you can copy paste it here into this and you can get it submitted. They also have a couple other questions. They want to know, do you have any work or other experience related to welding or allied technologies? So it does not necessarily have to be paid work. It can be volunteer work, but what kind of experience do you have? Did you do the FFA, 4-H, Boy Scouts? Did you have a job? Did you weld with your uncle? Did you, whatever. When you're done, click continue, or you can save for later and come back to it. Once you click continue, it's going to take you to a screen where you're going to verify everything that you wrote. So you just scroll through, make sure that everything is right and that you've got your essays completed, and you can go ahead and hit submit, or if you need to change something, you can hit edit response. Now, once you go ahead and hit submit, it's going to show you exactly which scholarships you are eligible for that can be applied through the portal. So you've got district scholarships, you may have some special scholarships such as the Miller 90th Anniversary Scholarship, national scholarships, district name scholarships. Now these are different from the district scholarships, and I'll explain those later. And then you have the national scholarships, some additional national scholarships that are a little bit different. So to get started, all you have to do is click on the Get Started button, and it's going to take you back to the Welcome Center. And now you'll see that your academic profile has been submitted. Your personal statements, those are those 3 little essays, you can go in and update those at any time. And then now we look at the scholarships. Now notice in big print, March 1st, March 1st, March 1st, okay? Every single scholarship application on this portal is March 1st, okay? Now we also have step 3. You'll notice there's nothing here yet. You have to start an application in step 2 before step 3 will open. Now, to kind of explain all of these scholarships very briefly before we begin this, the reason why the district scholarship is usually listed first is because it is the one that you are most likely to get. Why? We have the fewest number of applicants at the district scholarship level because you're only competing against the people in your district, okay? So you want to make sure that you definitely apply. If you don't apply for anything else, apply for this one. You've got the best shot at getting this one as opposed to the national scholarships. Now, if your district has a named scholarship, basically what this means is the regular district scholarship is something that every district has. If a district has created a new scholarship through means of fundraising or donations, then they can name it whatever they want or after somebody if they want. Particular example here, the Danielle Rivera Memorial District 17 Scholarship. This was a scholarship created by District 17 in memory of a welding student who was tragically killed in a motorcycle accident a few years ago. There was donations made from various companies as well as private individuals until the minimum amount was met. And now this scholarship will live on in her name. And so a lot of districts, even national and sections, have some named scholarships. You just have to look into those and see. Now, some of them have different requirements than others. For example, the Danielle Rivera Memorial Scholarship is only for females. So, gentlemen, I'm sorry, you will not be able to apply for that scholarship. But some of them have different requirements. So let's go ahead and start with the district scholarship really quick. You just click on apply. Now, it tells you exactly what you need to know. Recipients are selected between May and June. References are optional. If you choose to add references, please note that the contact information for the references needs to be submitted online. An automated email will be sent to that reference with instructions on how to log in and upload or write a letter of recommendation. Now, I know it says references are optional. I cannot stress this enough. Get references. It can make the difference between whether or not you get it because everything about your application is going to be graded. So if somebody doesn't submit any references and they score X amount of points and someone else scores the same amount of points but then they got some references and got a couple extra points, they're going to get it over you. So make sure you get references. I joke about this, but it's very serious. Make sure that you get references that want to be your reference. Ask them ahead of time. Make sure they want to be your reference. Explain to them that they're going to get an email. Tell them to check their spam folder if they don't see it. Sometimes it does go to spam, but make sure they actually want to be your reference. Do not put somebody that doesn't think highly of you. Do not put somebody that doesn't like you. That has happened in the past. I've seen it. Please make sure that they want to be your reference, okay? So you click on continue. All you have to do to submit this now is to type your name in that signature box right here and hit submit. Once you've submitted it, it's done. And they take the essays that you wrote earlier, attach it to your scholarship application, and it is submitted. As long as you hit that submit button by March 1st at 11:59 p.m., you are good to go. Now, once you have submitted it, okay, you're going to notice when you scroll down here, your district scholarship submitted. Okay, so everything's in there and you're good. Now, move on to the next one. So let's take a look at the Danielle Rivera Memorial Scholarship, and it'll give you the details. Basically everything that I already told you, and so you would hit continue, and do the same thing you did on all the other ones. Now, let's say you're not quite ready to submit it for some reason, you want to check it, you can click Save for Later, and it's going to take you back to the Welcome Center. Now, notice that it says In Progress now. So you know you started it, but you still need to finish it. If it doesn't say submitted, you're not done. Now, once you've begun any of them, even if you didn't submit, you just got to In Progress, whatever, Step 3 now opens. Step 3 is where a lot of people get hung up on because they get overwhelmed. They think that it's too difficult. AWS has made this easier this year. So of course you've got the 2 references. You just click on Request a Reference, fill in their information, and hit Submit. Okay, again, you can save for later if you want to. But make sure you give the email address because that is how they are going to be looking to send out the notice that they want the reference letter. So if you did hit Save for Later, you'll notice now it says Not Requested, so make sure you get that in there. And once you actually submit it, it'll say Submitted, okay? The next thing is probably the most burdensome step of the whole thing, is the financial student aid report, your SAR. It's your student aid report from FAFSA. Now, if you have never completed a FAFSA before, you need to go to fafsa.gov and walk through that process. Real quick tips, okay? Number 1, if you are a dependent, meaning someone else claims you on their taxes, you're going to need their tax information in order to complete the FAFSA. If you are independent, meaning no one else can claim you on their taxes, you will need your tax information for the year stated. Once you get your FAFSA completed, it does take a little bit of time to process, so do that sooner than later. And once it's been processed, you are going to have access to your student aid report. You will download that and upload it here. So when you've got your SAR, you can go ahead and click Get Started and get that turned in. You can type in what it's going to tell you, your expected family contribution, and then of course you can upload. And then we're going to scroll down here and you've got your transcript. Now, I can't stress this enough. This can get a little confusing. You need to get your unofficial transcript and upload it onto the server. You'll type in your overall GPA and select the file and upload it. You also need to request a copy of your official transcripts and have them sent to the AWS Foundation at that address. It is incredibly important that you do that step. The official transcripts must be received before the grading of the applications begin, or you could be disqualified. Another point I want to make, because a lot of people get confused about this. Official transcripts must be requested from either the office, the admissions office, the registrar. Go wherever your college or high school requires you to go for this. Give them this address. Do not have them send it to you. Once that envelope has been opened, it is no longer official. So if you get it and you open it and then try to send it to AWS, it's not an official transcript anymore and they will not accept it. So make sure that you have the office send it to that address, not to you. So you'll upload your unofficial here and have the official mailed, okay? Save for later. You'll hit Submit. And then we have our cost of attendance. Now, what we need here for the cost of attendance is something from the school telling us how much it's going to cost to do their program. You may need to go to the financial aid office to request that, or sometimes it's published in the course catalog or in the class schedule or somewhere on the website. Get something that says how much it's going to cost. You want to also include the cost of materials and books and things if that's not already included in the cost as it's shown, okay? Once you have that uploaded in here. Now, this is important because for the scholarships that require a financial need assessment, you need to be able to show us the SAR, which is going to tell us how much FAFSA says you'll be able to pay and how much the program is going to cost so that we can determine how much money do you need from us to go to school. So you'll hit Submit. And again, I'm going to hit Save for later. You'll hit Submit. Now, once you've gotten everything submitted and everything says submitted, and you've got all of this done, you are done. Pat yourself on the back and wait for the notification if you received a scholarship. You'll get an email as well as a letter in the mail. If you fail to turn any of this stuff in by the deadline, it could jeopardize your ability to get the scholarship. So please make sure you don't drop the ball on this. The one thing that they do is you've got on step 3, you do have an extra week to get that submitted, but don't wait. Get it done now, especially the FAFSA. So that's everything about the scholarship system. If you have any questions, you can always leave a comment down below or shoot me an email at weldingindustrytoday@gmail.com or shoot me a message on Facebook on our Facebook page, which of course is Welding Industry Today. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that I can. And of course, you can always contact AWS directly by calling the number that I showed you earlier. I'm also going to display it here on the screen and calling extension 250 to talk to the foundation. Again, if you have questions about what section you belong to or reaching out to your local section, you can contact AWS and dial extension 260 to talk to Daryl Gashler. If you want to start a student chapter or you belong to a student chapter or have any kind of questions about student chapters, you can call AWS and talk to Evelyn Andino at extension 258. So that's Welding Industry Today's step-by-step tutorial on the American Welding Society's scholarship application process. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either me or the AWS, and we'll be more than happy to continue helping you in any way that we can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.